Tractate Bava Batra, page 174. We're getting close to the end of this longest masechet. Really fascinating and so much we learn. Today we're going to talk about two types of guarantor, arevim. One is a regular guarantor. Second one is arev kablan. We explained in the previous daf that when it's come to guarantor, we have people make all kind of agreements, or especially statements, and sometimes it's asmachta, meaning they don't even realize how serious it is. So let's go back to the last scenario and drive from that the understanding of the next sugya. Use names. Let's say Abraham. Shimon asked Abraham to lend him $500,000 to buy a property. Shimon does not have the credential to get the money. He goes to David, who is a very wealthy man. And David goes to Abraham and said, give him the money. Don't worry, I'm guarantor. Then Abraham even said to him, David, just remember, in a way, I write the loan on his name, but you owe me. You are the guarantor. If I have a problem, I don't want to go to him, I'm going to you, right? That's in a way a different type of guarantor versus just a person co-signing or guarantee over a loan. So the question is, utterance speaks in the holy tongue, in the Hebrew language, carries a different meaning. So if someone said something like, I'm a guarantor, we have to differentiate between a regular guarantor and the guarantor that we call Kabbala, that it's in a kind of higher standards and a high level of collections in case of crisis. And we explain the concept of asmachta, which is sometimes people don't even take to their consideration. When David came in, he was so sure that that will never happen. He goes to him and he says, don't worry, don't worry. He never took to his consideration, which is a big discussion, a disputation, if that means that it's a real matter of acquisition, the real matter of guarantee or not. But anyway, Amar Rav Huna, if the guarantor said to the lender, 5 lines from the top of the page 174, Halveu v'ani arev, David comes in, is a very wealthy guy, and said to Abraham, give Shimon money, don't worry about it, I'm the guarantor. Halveu v'ani porea, lend him money and I'll take care of that, I'll pay it. Halveu v'ani chayav, lend him money and I owe you. Halveu v'ani noten, give me money and I'll give you. Kulan leshon arevut hen. Since you use the term halveu, give him, it's all considering a language, an expression that confer the status of standard guarantor. Now, if it's a different case, if the guarantor said, ten lo vani kablan, give him, it's a different story. If he said, give money to him and I am unconditional guarantor, ten lo vani porea, give him and I am the one who pays you, ten lo vani chayav, ten lo vani noten kulam leshon kablanuthem. It's like all the language of unconditional guarantee. So because they changed the word to ten, meaning give, so that's different than lend money. If you said give money versus lend money, is a total different story, because that's basically unconditional guarantor. Ibaya lehu. Here was the question. Halvehu va'ani kablan. Lend him the money. David said to Abraham, lend Shimon the money, and I ten lo va'ani arev, my dino. Give it to him, and I'm unconditional guarantor. So Amar Rabbi Yitzchak links the word, is an important word here, leshon. Leshon meaning the expression, leshon arvut, arvut, leshon kablanut, kablanut. If you employed a certain language, and you use the lashon, the language of a regular standard guarantee, it is standard guarantee, even use the word give. But the other way around, if you use the term unconditional guarantee, it's unconditional guarantee, even they use the word land. רב חיסדא אמר כולן לשון קבלנות הן בר מעלווה ואני ערב. All is a language of unconditional guarantee, excluding if we said lend him and I'm guarantor. Another opinion, רבא אמר כולם לשון ערבות הן בר תן לו ואני נותן. All is a language of guarantee except for give money to him and I'll give the money back to you. אמר לי מר בר עם מימר לרב אשי. הכי אמר אבא, which is המימר. תן לי ואני נותן, אין למלווה על הלווה כלום. If he used the language, give money to him and I'll give money back to you, so the lender is no claim against the one who borrowed it. His only option is to collect the debt from the guarantor. So basically you see here, ולא היא לא מפטר לווה מיני דמלווה עד שיישא וייתן ביד. So the debtor is not exempt from basically holding the creditor only unless he takes the money from the creditor and give it to the borrower of his own hand. So you see here 4 different levels of guarantee that the guarantor takes upon himself. ערב רגיל, regular one. ערב מתנה, that he condition that he can collect whenever he wants to. ערב קבלן, which means he accepts upon himself to be unconditional guarantor, or if the guarantor took the money from the lender and gave it to the borrower. Anyway, here is we talk about procedure of collecting fund. ההוא דיינה דאחתי למלווה לנכסי דלווה. It was a case of a judge that he basically give in a way permitted a creditor to enter the borrower's property and collect it from his debt. So מקמא דלהתבעל ללווה סקלקר רחמים מבני דרב יהיבה. So he did it before lodging a claim against the borrower himself. So here is Rav Chanina Baravi, he overruled the judge and expelled the creditor from seize the property. So he basically pushed him away, take away his job. So the Meiri and others said that he is concerned that he is mistaken here, mistaken in other cases. That's also Nimukei Yosef. But anyway, אמר רב המן חכים למבד כהמילתא אלא רב חנין ברי דרב יהיבה כסבר נכסי דבריני שינון מערבין יתי. The estate of a person is basically his guarantor. ותנן המלווה את חברו על ידי ערב לא יפרע מן הערב וקמלן לא יתבע ערב תחילה. So basically we said when you have a guarantor, the guarantor is there, but to go first you go to the one who borrowed and not the one who gave you the guarantee. So the same way as you cannot go to the guarantor before you go after the borrower, the same we cannot have the lender go to the estate of the borrower before, the Rashbam said, before collecting or direct connection, communication with the borrower. It was one guarantor for a debt of orphans. That he paid off what the orphans owe to the creditor before the even orphan knew about it. So this horrible person, instead of informing the orphans, he went to them like he wants them to pay him the loan. אמר רב פאפא פריעת בעל חוב מצווה ויתמא אליו בני מצווה נאבד נינו. So the whole idea of collecting the money from those who owe is a mitzvah. However, orphans who are minors are not obligated to perform mitzvah. So therefore do not have to repay the debt on by the deceased father until they reach the age of majority. So basically, the case here, that person paid off, but he didn't get the consent of the orphans. So the way, there's a few different avenues, but the way that most of the Mefarshim goes, it's basically, that's the Rashbam and others, he basically approached the creditor and paid, but the orphans wasn't familiar with anything. So since here the rule of Rav Papa is, since the orphan are not in an age of commitments, so you cannot collect from them, and you have to wait until they grow up. So he said, say that perhaps the deceased gave bundles of money to his creditor before his death, and therefore some of all this debt has been paid. So the whole idea is, because they are such a status of minor, the heir will not be aware of this payment, but when they reach majority, which means that they get the age of maturity, there's a chance that they may examine their father's paper and discover that their father have done it. So here you see that the payment differ until they reach that age of maturity. 174. Bimai benayu, ika benayu, shechayav modeh. What's the real difference, they ask, between the two views, between Rav Papa and Ravuna Bar Rav Yoshua? So he said, when the father admitted before he passed away that he did not pay the debt, iname de shamtuhu umet beshamtei. So another option is, when they admit that they put him in the excommunication, the deceased, for not cooperating with the rabbinic court in repaying his debt, and he died while he was basically excommunicated. So according to Rav Papa, even in this type of circumstance, you cannot collect from the young orphans, since they are not in the age of the obligation, especially since we know that the father did not pay off the debt. You cannot obligate the orphans to fulfill the mitzvah before they grown up. That the lender can collect from the orphans, and you cannot say that because they are not in the age of maturity they don't need to pay. Here is the situation that a guarantor for a debt, who has the promissory note for the debt in his possession, so no gove, cannot collect if the debtor he has died and the obligation for the debt has fallen to his minor heirs. ואם כתוב בו התקבלתי ממך גובה, בי שמע לרבונה בר רב יהושע משכח עלה כשחייב מודה. So if you go by the Ravuna Rabbi Yoshua, that's possible when one who basically who owes the money, which is the deceased, admits before that just before his death that he is not yet repaid the loan. Ela le Rav Papa kashya, but according to Rav Papa is a problem, because according to his view, even if we know that the father never paid off to the guarantor, and the guarantor paid off the loan to the lender, the orphan doesn't need to pay the guarantor until they grown up, they reach the age of maturity. So Gemarrah said, Shanehatam, over there it's different. When the lender wrote that he received the pay of the debt from the guarantor, that's the reason that he troubled himself and wrote for the guarantor, I received payment from you. Here is a story. It was a guarantor that he guarantor a loan for someone who's an idol worshipper. The fare le'oved kochavim, that he paid it off to him. Before the idol worshipper go after the orphans of the buyer, of the borrower. אמר לרב מרדכי לרב אשי אחא אמר עבדי ממהגרוניה משמי דרבא אפילו דאמר למאן דאמר חיישינן ליצררי, even according to the one who concerned for the possibility that the deceased may give in bundles of money to the creditor before his death, So, Hanemili Israel, that specifically when it's follow the Jewish creditor. אבל עובד כוכבים כיוון דבתר ערבה אזיל, but the idol worshipper, since they go, that he entitled go directly to a guarantor, לא חיישן לצררי, we're not concerned about the possibility that the deceased may give in bundles of money. So they said, Rashbam here, but anyway, אמר לרבה שדיסגרי, אדרבה, אפילו למד אמר לו צריך חיישן לצררי, אני מילה ישראל, עובד כוכבים, כיוון דדינינו בתרא ואזלי, אליו דעת פסי צררי מעיקר, לא אוהב המקבל. We're getting close to Shabbat. So, okay, so continue, okay. וכן היה רבן שמעון גמליאל אומר, הערב לאישה בכתובתה. Story, משה בר עצרי, his name of a person, ערבה דכתובתה דקלתיה בה. He was basically a guarantor for his daughter-in-law, כתובה. רב הונא ברי צורבה מרבנן הווה, he was תלמיד חכם, ודחיקה למילתא, he was very poor at that time. אמר רבי ליקן דנזיל דנסווי, עצה לרב הונא דגרשה לביתיו, someone who give a counsel, advice to רב הונא that he should divorce his wife, since he doesn't have the money, תזיל ותגבה כתובתה מאבוה. She go by the father that he is guarantor, ונעדר הנעדרי, and then רב הונא take her back. אמר לה, והיא דירנה הנעתנן, we learn, if you remember in the Mishnah, that you put a total exclusivity in a sense of no way back. אמר לי, אביי, עתו דכל מגרש בבית דין המגרש. Everyone who divorce in a bed din, can do it in a quiet way. So the bed din is only one who required that he should mudarana, but no others. לסוף גדמית דכהנו, so he's a kohen, so he cannot, the moment he divorces, he cannot have her back. אמר רבי אנו דאמרי שבתר עניה, אז לעניותה. That meaning, it's always, it's like bad luck, or I don't know how the poverty follow the poor. Anyway. ומי אמר רבי האחה, ואמר רבי זהו רשע ערום, זה המסיר את צה"ל למכור בנכסים, כרבן שמעון בן גמליאל. So he said, בנו שני צורם ורענן שני. והערבו, כמלן ערב דכתובה לא משתעבד. הניחא למד דאמר קבלן דכתובה, אבל גב דלית לי, נכסי לבעל משתעבד שפיר. למאן דאמר, יתלי משתעבד דלית למה יקה למימר. אי באיתם המה והבה וישתדוף. ובאיתם אבא לגרבי ברי שעבוד משעבד נפשי. דאיתמה. ערב דכתובה, דברי הכל לא משתעבד. So if someone sign a guarantor to a fellow כתובה, so everyone agrees that he is not committed to not obligated to pay. So he said, קבלן דבעל חוב, דברי הכל משתעבד. קבלן דכתובה וערב דבעל חוב, פליגי. מר סבר יתלה נכסה ללווה משתעבד, יתלה לא משתעבד, ומר סבר בין יתלה ובין יתלה משתעבד. והלכתה משתעבד. And the halacha is that it's really, yes, it's משתעבד. בר מערב דכתובה, דאף על גב דאיתלה לבעל לא משתעבד. מהייתם מצווה ודאבד, ולאו מילי חסרה. So, Mitzvah Hashem, tomorrow we continue.